Jacob called all his sons to come close around him, and he told them to listen carefully, because he wanted to speak about what would happen in the days ahead. He began with Reuben, his firstborn son, the child of his strength and early years. But Jacob said Reuben had become unstable like rushing water, and because of his past actions, he would no longer hold the place of honor among his brothers. Then Jacob spoke about Simeon and Levi. He remembered their violence and anger, and said their fierce actions had brought trouble, so their families would later be scattered throughout Israel. Jacob then turned to Judah and spoke words of strength and leadership over him. He said Judah would be praised by his brothers, and his enemies would bow before him. Jacob compared him to a young lion, strong and fearless. He said the ruler's staff would remain with Judah, and leadership would stay in his family line until the one came who would bring peace and obedience from the nations. Jacob described abundance around Judah, vineyards full of grapes, wine flowing freely, and garments washed in rich color. His eyes would be darker than wine, and his teeth whiter than milk. Jacob continued speaking over his sons one by one. Zebulun would live near the sea and become a place for ships and trade. Issachar was compared to a strong donkey, resting peacefully, but willing to carry heavy burdens. Dan would judge his people, yet would also be dangerous like a snake beside the road, striking suddenly. Gad would be attacked by raiders, but in the end he would overcome them. Asher's land would produce rich food fit for kings. Naphtali was described like a deer set free, full of beauty and graceful words. Jacob spoke the longest blessing over Joseph. He called Joseph a fruitful tree beside a spring, whose branches spread far beyond the wall. Though enemies had attacked him and others had wounded him in the past, Joseph had remained strong because God had helped him. Jacob said the God of his fathers, the shepherd and rock of Israel, would continue to bless Joseph. He spoke of blessings from heaven above, blessings from the deep waters below, and blessings of family and future generations. Jacob said Joseph's blessings were greater than the ancient mountains, and they would rest upon the head of the son who had once been separated from his brothers. Jacob described Benjamin as a wolf, strong and fierce in battle, dividing the spoil at evening. After blessing all 12 sons, Jacob gave them final instructions. He told them he was about to die and asked to be buried in the cave near Mamre, where Abraham and Isaac had also been buried alongside their wives. When Jacob finished speaking, he lay back on his bed, breathed his last breath, and was gathered to his people.